What if the greatest mistake in your life is not who you become, but who you choose to walk beside forever? A career can change, money can be lost and regained, health rises and falls with time, but the person you marry, that choice shapes the rhythm of every day. It colors the silence of your mornings. It weighs on your nights. The Stoics taught that no one can steal your freedom of mind. Yet they warned of the company we keep, for those closest to us have the power to disturb our inner balance. A storm outside can be endured. A storm inside the home is harder to withstand. In America today, half of marriages collapse, most not because of fate, but because two souls walked into union blind to character, blind to the truth of who stood beside them. Epictetus said, "When you are about to enter any relationship, consider first what it demands. Marriage is not a stage for pleasure alone. It is a lifelong practice of discipline, patience, and shared virtue." So let us reflect together, not with fear, not with bitterness, but with calm clarity. Here are 5 types of people that the wise do not choose as lifelong partners, not to judge them, not to condemn them, but to remind ourselves that peace in marriage is built on reason, on virtue, and on the strength to choose with foresight. Type 1. The slave of emotions. The first type of person you must think carefully about marrying is the one enslaved by emotions. This person is ruled by anger, quick to explode, quick to wound with words they later regret. Their mood shifts like weather. You never know what awaits you when you walk through the door. Sometimes it is jealousy, suspicion that turns simple gestures into imagined betrayals. Sometimes it is impulsiveness, decisions made in the heat of passion without thought for tomorrow. The Stoics warned us of such captivity, for to be human is to feel, but to be wise is to master feeling, not to be mastered by it. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is more hurtful than the injury that provokes it. If a man or woman cannot restrain their own rage, they will turn their household into a battlefield." Think of life in America today. Bills to pay, work stress, endless demands of modern living. In such a climate, emotions already run high. Now imagine adding a partner who inflames every spark. A small disagreement about money becomes war. A missed call becomes proof of betrayal. A long day at work turns into an accusation of neglect. This is not a marriage, it is a cycle of chaos. The Stoic seeks equanimity, not the absence of feeling, but the presence of control. To marry someone who cannot control themselves is to hand them the keys to your peace, and they will, often without meaning to, lock you in a prison of turbulence. Ask yourself, can this person sit in silence without restlessness? Can they disagree without rage? Can they be patient when life tests them? If the answer is no, then your marriage will not be a harbor, but a storm that never ends. Emotions are contagious. One person's fury spreads through the house. Children learn to mirror it. Trust erodes beneath it. And soon, you begin to live not in love, but in constant defense. The Stoics did not preach coldness. They did not ask us to become stone. They asked us to become masters of ourselves, so that our presence would be steady for others, so that when life's winds rise, we do not topple, and we do not topple those we love. If you seek a partner, seek one who knows the weight of their own emotions, one who feels deeply, yet does not drown in the flood of those feelings. One who can pause before speaking, reflect before judging, breathe before reacting. For in marriage, every day is a test of emotional discipline, Not grand gestures, not fleeting passion, but the quiet strength to remain calm when the world is loud. Do not choose the slave of emotions. Choose the one who walks in freedom. For only a free soul can join you in building a free and peaceful home. Type 2. The eternal victim. The second type of person you should never marry is the one who lives as a victim. This person sees the world as hostile. Life is always unfair. Others always have it easier. Every obstacle is proof that fate is cruel. Listen carefully to how they speak. I never get a break. People are always against me. Nothing ever works out. These are not harmless words. They are chains, chains that bind them, and if you marry them, those chains bind you as well. The Stoics understood the danger of this mindset. They taught that external events are neutral. It is our judgment that makes them blessings or burdens. Epictetus reminded us, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of things. To live as a victim is to hand your freedom to chance. It is to believe that life is something happening to you, not something you can shape. Now, imagine this in a marriage. The bills are late, the car breaks down, work is stressful, normal struggles of daily life. For the one who sees themselves as a victim, each event becomes another reason to complain, another reason to blame you, the system, the universe. The house fills with resentment instead of resolve. This is common in modern America. Costs rise, careers shift, social media feeds comparison every hour. It is easy to feel small, easy to feel cheated, but when someone chooses victimhood as their identity, they refuse to grow stronger. They drag themselves down, and they drag their partner with them. Marriage is not meant to be two people drowning together. It is meant to be two people pulling each other to shore. If one insists on sinking, the other must either carry them forever or sink as well. Ask yourself, does this person take ownership of their mistakes? Do they learn from hardship, or do they always point the finger elsewhere? When they face failure, do they ask, why me? Or what can I do next? The Stoic way is clear. We cannot command fortune. We cannot guarantee outcomes, but we can command our attitude. We can choose courage over complaint, responsibility over blame, gratitude over bitterness. A victim cannot make this choice. They wait for the world to change before they will change. They wait for circumstances to improve before they will be grateful. So joy never arrives. Peace never stays. To marry such a person is to live in a house where gratitude is absent, where blame is permanent, where even small joys are swallowed by constant grievance. Do not choose this path. Do not bind yourself to the eternal victim. Instead, choose a partner who meets hardship with composure, who accepts what is outside their control, and takes full command of what is within, who lifts their share of life's burdens with steady hands, so that together you may carry yours. For marriage is not about sharing despair, it is about building strength side by side, not victims clinging to each other, but free souls, united in courage and grounded in responsibility. Type 3. The worshipper of wealth and status. The third type of person you should never marry is the one who worships wealth and status. This person sees life through numbers and appearances. How much money is in the bank? What car sits in the driveway? How others view their career or their title? For them, value is measured only in possessions and recognition. At first, this may seem harmless. Ambition can look like drive, luxury can look like success. But soon, you realize that everything becomes a transaction. Affection is traded for gifts. Respect is tied to income. Love is conditional on lifestyle. The Stoics were clear about wealth. They did not condemn it. They did not glorify it. They placed it among the indifferents, not good, not bad. It is only the use of wealth that carries moral weight. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive wealth without arrogance, and be ready to let it go." But the worshipper of wealth cannot let it go. They clutch it as if it were the soul itself. When fortune rises, they shine. When fortune falls, they collapse. And with them, they drag their partner down. Think of the American dream: a bigger house, a newer car, a more prestigious career. These are not wrong in themselves. Yet when they become idols, they demand sacrifice. Sacrifice of peace, sacrifice of integrity, sacrifice of love. Imagine a marriage built on this foundation. Arguments over money dominate. Comparison poisons every conversation. Vacations, homes, even friendships are chosen not for joy, but for image. Children are raised not to grow in virtue, but to perform in status. Soon, you are not partners. You are business partners trapped in a contract. The Stoics remind us, true wealth is self-sufficiency, a quiet mind, a spirit content with what is enough. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." If your partner craves endlessly, your life together will be a race without a finish line. No matter how much you achieve, peace will always remain out of reach. Ask yourself, does this person measure worth by character or by possessions? Can they sit in a modest home and still smile? Do they value simplicity, or are they restless until the next purchase is made? For marriage is not about building a palace, it is about building a life that endures when the market falls, a life that breathes even without applause. Do not choose the worshipper of wealth and status. Choose instead the one who honors simplicity, the one who is grateful for enough, the one who sees you not as a possession, but as a partner in the practice of living well. Because a house may crumble, a career may end, but a marriage grounded in virtue and free from the chains of greed can weather every season of fortune. Type 4. The one who fears responsibility. The fourth type of person you should never marry is the one who fears responsibility. This person avoids commitment. They make promises easily, but break them quickly. They speak of dreams, yet do little to bring them to life. They shift blame when confronted. They live as if duty belongs to someone else. At first, their charm may fool you. They may seem carefree, spontaneous, light-hearted, but beneath the surface is a refusal to carry weight. And marriage, by its nature, is weight. The Stoics taught that discipline is freedom, that a life without self-control is chaos. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If a person cannot govern their own actions, they will not govern their place in marriage. They will leave the burdens on you. Think of modern life in America. Bills must be paid, children must be raised, homes must be cared for. A marriage is full of duties, both large and small. When one partner steps back, the other must step forward twice as far. Resentment grows, exhaustion follows, and soon love is buried under imbalance. Responsibility is not only about money or chores, it is about character. Do they keep their word? Do they show up when they say they will? Do they take ownership when they fail? These small acts reveal their inner discipline. Without it, promises become empty, and empty promises rot the foundation of trust. Picture this clearly. A child is sick, yet one parent disappears into distraction. A bill is due, yet one partner spends recklessly. A conflict arises, yet one refuses to speak honestly. This is not partnership, this is abandonment in slow motion. The Stoic view is firm. Life demands duty. To shrink from duty is to live half a life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In the same way, waste no time hoping a partner will suddenly embrace responsibility. Look at their actions. See the pattern. If they fear duty now, they will flee it later. Ask yourself, can this person stand steady when life presses hard? Can they make sacrifices for the family without resentment? Can they be trusted to guard not only their path, but yours together? Marriage is not a place for endless escape. It is a ground where responsibility is shared, where both hold the rope, so neither is dragged behind. Do not choose the one who fears responsibility. Choose the one who accepts it, the one who faces duty with discipline, the one who understands that responsibility is not a prison, but the path to strength. Because only the responsible can truly share a life. Only the disciplined can build a home of trust. And only the steady can walk with you through the weight of years without letting go. Type 5. The enemy of growth. The fifth type of person you should never marry is the one who resists growth. This person fears change. They cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them. They say, "Why try? Things are fine as they are." They discourage new goals. They dismiss new opportunities. They treat ambition as a threat. At first, this can feel comforting. They seem content, easygoing, satisfied. But soon, you notice the pattern. Every attempt to rise is met with resistance. Every spark of progress is smothered, not because they hate you, but because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. The Stoics spoke often of progress. They knew virtue is not a final state. It is a lifelong practice. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." To refuse growth is to refuse life itself. To refuse it in marriage is to chain not only yourself, but your partner too. Think of it in daily life. You want to start a healthier routine. They laugh and say, "Why bother?" You want to learn a new skill. They shrug. "It's too late." You want to save for the future. They spend recklessly. "We'll be fine." Each response is small, but together they form a cage. In America today, growth is necessary. Jobs change quickly. Technology evolves. Families face new challenges every season. A marriage that cannot adapt, cannot endure. Ask yourself, does this person welcome growth or resist it? Do they support your goals or make you feel guilty for pursuing them? Do they stretch themselves or do they remain frozen in old habits? Because marriage is not meant to be a cage. It is not meant to trap you in yesterday. It is meant to be a ground for two people to expand, to test their limits, to become more than they were before. The enemy of growth does not see this. They fear what change will demand of them. They fear what your progress will reveal about their comfort. And so they hold you back, not with chains of iron, but with constant discouragement, with quiet resistance, with the subtle pressure to stay small. The Stoic path is different. It embraces growth as a duty, not for pride, not for wealth, but for the pursuit of virtue, to grow wiser, to grow steadier, to grow freer. Do not choose the one who resists growth. Choose the one who welcomes it, the one who supports your striving, the one who says, "Let us improve together." The one who sees marriage not as a cage, but as a space where two souls can rise side by side, for life itself is motion, and love, if it is true, is not meant to keep you small. It is meant to give you strength to become more than you ever thought you could be. We have reflected on 5 types of people you should never marry: the slave of emotions, the eternal victim, the worshipper of wealth and status, the one who fears responsibility, and the enemy of growth. Each carries a burden that spills into marriage: uncontrolled anger, constant blame, endless greed, abandoned duty, resistance to change. These are not small flaws. They are patterns that erode peace day by day. The Stoics remind us that no one is perfect. We all stumble, we all struggle, but some tendencies, if left unchecked, become prisons. To bind yourself for life to such prisons is to invite unrest into your home. Marriage is not about seeking someone to complete you. It is not about demanding constant happiness from another soul. It is about walking together in discipline. It is about building a household where reason is stronger than rage, where gratitude is stronger than complaint, where simplicity is stronger than vanity, where duty is honored, where growth is embraced. Do not search for perfection in a partner. It does not exist. Search instead for character, for steadiness, for willingness to grow in virtue with you. The Stoic life is not solitary. Even the wise need companions, but the wise choose carefully. They do not ask who flatters their desires, they ask who strengthens their soul. So when you think of marriage, pause. Look beyond the charm, look beyond the surface. See the habits, see the values. See whether this person will walk with you, not just in ease, but in struggle. For in the end, the question is not, who will make me happy? That is fragile, fleeting, uncertain. The true question is, who will walk with me in virtue through both calm and storm? Choose that person, and together you will build not just a marriage, but a life worth living.